Gavin Newsom just passed a new law in California. Come January 2027, all children between the ages of 8 and 16 years old will have to go through a 5-point booster seat check in order to not sit in a booster seat while they're driving in their car with their parents. So if a parent is pulled over and their child doesn't pass this 5-point test, they can be fined $490. A child has to sit with their back against the seat, with their legs properly over and their feet on the ground and their seatbelt done up correctly. If they don't pass this, they're going to have to sit in a booster seat, even if they're 16 years old. This comes from the same state that let children actually choose what gender they want to be. They let kids mutilate their genitalia. They let boys play on girls' sports, not worrying about the safety of the girls. Also, they let illegal immigrants get CDL licenses and drive all over the state of California. That in itself is a huge hazard to all drivers on the road in California. Gavin Newsom, I think you're a little bit crazy on this one.
Yeah, he is. He ain't thinking. It's a money grab. He instituted a law to where kids have to wear booster seats no matter how tall they are from the age 8 to 16. Who cares? Who cares, Gavin Newsom? Why is this a money grab? Oh, okay, because if an officer sees this, he's going to give you a $490 ticket, allegedly. What does this do for America? What does this do for California? First, you allow kids to get rid of their stuff to be a different gender. You allow kids and you allow people to support transgenders going into women's restrooms. You don't protect the women. You don't care about illegal immigrants running up the prices on everything, becoming truck drivers and having accidents and killing people on the road. You don't care that our kids can't read. I'm looking at some stuff right here, and it's just sickening. Across all grades in California, fewer than half of students scored at or above their grade level standard. More than 58% of third graders in California read below grade level. Only 29% of fourth graders in California score at or above the proficient level, meaning less than a third are proficient readers. You worried about car seats, bro, but you're not wanting to put that money into having better schools for kids. You worry about everything else but the kids. Protect the women and kids. You're so more focused on putting trans in women's sports than actually making our kids smart. Californians are counting the day that this man is out of there. You're so focused on trying to be president, but look at your stat record. What have you done? You closed down prisons. So you just want criminals just being around. Got rid of the bail system, the cash. Now you have got rid of the cashless bail system or whatever that system. What is the plan? You put the environment over the people. You still haven't taken care of the Palisades fire victims. You haven't done anything you say you want to do, but then you go to Washington recently asking for billions of dollars to do what, sir? To get that money to fund your own agenda to be president? He ain't gonna get it. He don't need it. $24 billion of homelessness. You said, I don't know where it went. Couple billion to do a light speed rail project and nothing happened. Whoever comes in there after you got to clean up a big mess. They got to clean up a huge thing that is very, very bad for Californians. So many people have left California. That's the reason why you guys keep trying to raise taxes, trying to get more money from people. It's because everybody's left. You're not business friendly. You had Tesla there. He left to go to Texas. What's the plan? But you care more about booster seats? Some of these families can't even afford booster seats. How about that? How about that? So you're going to penalize them and get more money out of them by arming these police officers with the power to be able to write tickets because a kid can't sit properly or they can't put their feet all the way on the ground. There's a certain way they got to do it. You're making it harder for the people, bro. Who are you working for? The car seat manufacturer? They want more money, so forcing people to buy more car seats. Is there a car seat recession right now where people ain't buying car seats? Like, where we at with this? I just don't understand when I'm looking at all these scores as we continue to talk about it. About 56 to 63% scored at or above the basic reading level. That's crazy. Around 28% of eighth graders in California scored at or above the proficient level. Nearly 2/3 were at or above the basic reading level. These figures show that even in middle school, fewer than 3 in 10 students reached a higher proficiency tier in reading. California's reading performance tends to lag behind many other states, ranking in the lower half nationally out of NAEP reading scores. You know, the one thing I love talking to liberals about, well, what does it say that at? Proof is in the pudding. NAEP reading scores. That's how you talk to liberals. You got to come with them with stats and facts. And they be like, "Oh, well, I don't see that. It's right here. Here you go. I got to pull it up for you right here. NAEP reading scores. Boom. ChatGPT. Boom. Here you go." Nationally, in California, reading performance has stalled or declined since the COVID-19 pandemic, with many students still recovering expected learning. COVID has really messed up kids, especially in California. My daughter, obviously, I have two daughters. My youngest one, not so much because she wasn't in school, but my oldest was in school. What kept our kids advanced and accelerated, and the reason why they're better, not better, but more proficient and better at reading and better at math and more, you know, more advanced. When the COVID happened, they were doing the reading. They were doing a class on the iPad, which was idiotic. Our kids had to sit there and look at an iPad. It was idiotic. But what we did, and we're a firm believer in this, we put our kids in Kumon. So if you have a kid and you want them to get more reading, put your kid in Kumon or after school studies or something that they're tutoring. That's the reason why my kids are more advanced than a lot of kids. It's because of Kumon. But it did mess them up socially. My oldest a little bit, but she finally got out of it, right? Which is great. But it took her a couple years to readjust. What I thought they should have did with COVID, they should have said, shut everything down. Don't try to teach them anything. Let them get through this and then redo the grade. That's what they should have did during COVID. What it was, though, these schools were greedy for money. And they try to get all this, they got all this COVID funding, but they really hurt the kids. They should have just shut the school down, said, look, COVID hit, shut it down. Teachers, we're going to pay the teachers with the COVID funding. We're going to continue to pay you guys, but the kids don't need to learn yet. Let them come back and redo the grade. I feel like that would have helped out everybody immensely. Seniors missed their graduation, missed the part of their life that's very important. Instead of just going back and redoing their grade and being able to be socially back into America, they were forced to move ahead and not enjoy the experiences of their previous grade. To really get that year back to be more social. The social is what got affected by these kids. See, but that's what happens when you have a smart governor that says, you know what? I'm shutting funding down. We're going to get this COVID funding. We're going to take care of the teachers. We're going to get them trained, get them better. That's an opportunity for the teachers to get better. They can sit their asses down for 5 hours, 8 hours a day and learn and teach themselves to be better for next year. But our kids, let them be free. We're going to put after school programs or programs where they can play and do that and continue to have their social, but the academic will redo it. That's what Gavin Newsom should have did as a leader. He should have did that and said, this is what we're going to do. Because our kids got severely affected, but he don't care about the kids. This attempt is all about putting more money into somebody else's pocket. And this is what we talk about socialism. We talk about Democrats. Y'all think they for y'all, but they really for the corporations that own them. That's all it is. Socialism is capitalism with cheap clothing on. It's a different type of capitalism because they're making money off your emotion. See, it's a different company making money. No matter what, they're still owned by somebody. But I just tell you this as a California, I hope California turns red. I hope we have somebody in there with some common sense. I hope we have somebody that really care about the women and children because I tell you this right now, there's a lot of Californians right now counting the days until Gavin Newsom is out of there. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As always, we're going to keep this thing rocking, keep this thing going. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the support. Daily show coming soon, maybe around 10 o'clock. Thinking about calling it the No Fluff Morning Show. Let me know your thoughts about this. But as always, make California red. Turn it red, please. Common Sense University. Let's start thinking with this. Let's start protecting our women and kids and keep things simple so everybody can win. But at the end of the day, we need capitalism.